Good evening. This is Joe Fields with Week 6 assignment for Cody Myers on FTT 100. This week we will be field stripping and describing one of our own firearms. This week I will be going over my personal carry firearm. It is a Canik TP9 Elite SC. First off, weapon free and clear. Check down the pipe. Rack it a couple more times just to make sure. Lock it open while I talk about it. I've changed this just a little bit. This is a striker fired 9mm, 12+1 capacity, or the 15+1 if you want it. The 3.8-inch barrel was replaced with a fluted 4-inch match grade barrel, threaded. I have a compensator or two I can throw on there, and I have a friend with a suppressor sometimes we play with. Backside MOS footprint with the Swamp Fox Liberty, I believe. Red dot on the back, blacked out rears, white dot front. Striker fired 9mm, excellent weapon. The trigger is really what makes Canik one of the better guns, especially for the value right now. Very crisp trigger. Weapon is free and clear. Other things about this: Picatinny rail is on this. It does have adjustable back straps, 3 different size, reversible magazine release, and overall weight of 1.55 pounds, which is the one complaint about this weapon. For an ST class weapon, this is kind of heavy, at least for other users. I personally carry a full size, or used to carry full size, at least 1911 or double stack full size striker. For capacity and ability, this weapon is bar none the best I've ever carried and owned. As far as takedown goes, this weapon again is free and safe. Takedown is very easy. Depressing of the trigger, dropping of the drop down, lifting of the slide off of the grip module. We'll set the grip module to the side. Now the slide internally looks like a lot of other striker fire slides. You will pop out that recoil guide rod with the spring. It is a captive guide rod spring on this. This is not removable like you might see in some 1911s. After the slide is out, you do have to pop off the thread protector, which is the only downside of having a threaded barrel sometimes. Pop that barrel back out, and then we'll set this to the side, and this leaves us pretty much the blank slide. I'm not going to tear apart the firing pin group. We can see a lot of that information in there. This is striker fired. Once this is taken apart, reassembly of this weapon is fairly easy. You just drop the barrel back in, into the slide so that it rests up against the breech there. Once you have that in place, you can go ahead and put the thread protector back on, take the guide rod, the captive guide rod, throw it back in the correct direction, which would be fat side first, adjustable side, back rear, back into place just like that. Now this is a little bit different than the Glocks. The one thing that I did notice when I started using this weapon just a little bit more is that Glocks, usually you take the full slide and slide it from the front to the rear for the full distance. You'll have problems with Caniks if you do that. You really have to line up that rear with the seating sears, pop it back on there, you're good to go. It's a fantastic weapon. I carry it near daily. I don't carry any of my other guns now just because of how nice this really is. As far as other pieces of information on this gun are part of the assignment, the only things that I found interesting, difficult, or intimidating about this weapon is that it's a little bit more specific in the reassemble and takedown process. You can't just pop it apart in someone's hands like you can with a Glock sometimes. Reflecting how this process may be different or more challenging when performing and work on a customer's firearm. If you get the slide locked to the grip module because you don't slide it on properly and you can't or aren't able to figure it out in front of a customer, I could see that being very disheartening to a customer to leave a gunsmith with a weapon that they're not sure on how to field strip down. Now, it being unlike most Glocks or striker fired, it's difficult to be prepared for it until you start playing with it, or one of the Walter P99s, which it is basically a clone of. If you get those operations down for field strip, it shouldn't be a problem for other weapons like that. And most striker fireds, if you can figure out 2 or 3 of the different types, you have most of them down. There is no takedown pin. There is no alignment of barrel lugs like you have in 1911s. Those things can be nightmares sometimes. So maintenance, ease of use, and whatnot of this weapon is excellent. Bibliography for this, a lot of this was just stuff I knew because I own the weapon. I also use Pew Pew Tactical's Canik TP9 Elite SC spec and feature form to get some of the more fine-tuned specs of this device. The Canik site didn't really give a lot of details, the weight, the barrel length, and stuff like that. So Pew Pew Tactical's review on the TP9, and also the Apex of Gunsmithing has a detailed strip guide for the Walther P99 and Canik TP9 also that kind of encompasses both of those models. Thank you for your time tonight. Have a good evening.